What's up, guys? Today we're going to take a look at the Milton Bradley Microvision. This was purchased recently at an online estate sale for one of our Flippin' Ain't Easy videos. That video will be out soon. It's going to be called The Ohio Estate Massacre, and if you watch the video you will find out why. Anyhow, pretty much everything from the estate that we've purchased has had some type of an issue with it, and this thing is no exception. When I originally purchased this, I seen that it came with a box. It looked like it was in pretty good shape according to the photos online. However, once we got it, it didn't work. Now that could be due to many different things, but typically what goes bad on these is the screen. Now I can buy a new screen for 70 bucks, but I paid 60 for this already. And in working condition, these will sell for about 100, maybe a little bit more. So I'm not really willing to make that investment yet until we can take a little bit better look at this and see if we can just sell it as is. If we can't sell it as is, then maybe we'll try to change the screen and go from there. But for right now, we're just going to see if we can sell it as is. But we're going to take a little deeper of a dive into what's wrong with this and try to make sure that it is the screen and not something else. And I'll show you what I mean by something else. So let's take this out of the box. Now, here it is. And these original screens go bad. And again, you can purchase one of these, and I'm guessing that's what's wrong with it. But I'm not 100% sure. What I have noticed is somebody has installed a button on the side. I'm not sure what this is for. My original assumption would be that it's to take place of this on-off switch. Maybe this went bad and they put this in here. I don't know. But we're going to take it apart and see if we can't figure out what this is for. And the reason I want to do that is because some of the other items that we purchased in this estate sale have been broken, and whomever tried to fix them in the past did a very poor job of it. So we're going to take this apart, take a look at it, and see if this is actually needed, see if this hasn't been fixed correctly, and maybe that's why it's not working. I don't know. Another thing to note, I've seen a couple videos online of these where people try to get them working and do some different things. And you'll notice this is set up for 2 batteries. Now I've seen them online where they just have 1. I don't know the difference between the versions with 1 battery compared to 2, but this one has 2. And I want to show you, we'll put the batteries in here, and this thing does, I think, try to at least turn on. When we hit this button, once it's in, sometimes it'll make a noise, sometimes it won't. Okay, we've got the batteries in. Now we will attempt to turn it on, or at least I think turn it on. Go ahead and do this too. Let me get the cartridge, we'll put it in there and see if that makes a difference. All right. So now let's try. Okay, so it's not doing anything. It has a couple of times made some noise, like it was going to attempt to turn on, but that's why I'm not 100% sure what's wrong with this. I don't know if it is in fact the screen or if something else is going on. But we're going to take this apart, take a look at this, and see what we can come up with. thing I can see here is, if you notice how this makes a connection, it's like the other video game cartridges. We're going to go through and we're going to clean these up really well before we put them back in, just to make sure that it's getting a good connection. Okay. It looks pretty clean. But this button, I'm wondering if this is supposed to be a reset button that they've soldered in here. So we can see that our original wire would have went over here to the switch, and they've soldered it in the middle and ran this button in the middle. Yeah, I'm wanting to see if this cord right here was originally there, or if they've just stuck it and soldered it after the fact. But it looks like an original solder job. Here's something to take into consideration. This thing isn't connected right. That's for the screen. Okay. I just barely turned it over and that fell off, so that solder must have disconnected at some point in time. Okay guys, so I think what we've got here, I resoldered this blue wire onto the switch that was going to that button, whatever the button was, reset or whatever they had fixed in here. And I don't know how much they originally cut out of it, but the board, if you can see, one side of the board is longer than the other. And to get this to close right, I have to have the longer edge pointing down, which is okay. However, I don't have enough wire to do that because when they've cut this to put that switch in, they took too much material out, and now we're stuck with a wire that's too short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to solder in a new wire from the main board over to the switch so that we can insert this board correctly, or the switch correctly, and get this thing to close. so we got us a wire. I cut it a couple inches longer than the blue wire that was there. We're going to strip the ends and then solder this in. So take a look at this, guys. This is a handheld little drill. It's for micro drill bits. You can get a kit off of Amazon. I can put a link in there. And all that I'm doing with this is, due to the solder that's in these holes on the boards, I got it out pretty good, but just to make it a little easier to put the wires in, I'm going to take this and then just go through those holes a little bit to make it a little easier. Okay guys, so we got this together. We fixed two wires inside. One of the wires was going from this knob to the board. It had broken off. I don't know if it did that when we were taking it apart, but it was hanging loose, so we resoldered it. And if you remember, there was a button over here that was ran off from the power switch. I believe that button was installed to be a reset so that you don't have to switch it. You can just hit the reset button, but I don't know for sure. I don't know if the switch is working, if the reset worked, or if this thing worked at all. All I know is that it wasn't powering on when we got it, so I don't know, prior to us having it, what all had happened. But someone had been inside this, done some work to it. Couple notes: we cleaned up this, all the contacts up in here. This is the, I believe the first cartridge-based game system that there was. And we went through, cleaned these up. We also, the cartridges themselves, this one's Blockbuster. This one came with the Microvision. At the top here, there's a little door. You pull it down and you can see, and here's the actual cartridge. We cleaned this off really well too, to make sure that we've got as good of a contact as we possibly can to see what's going to happen. This wasn't working at all, so I don't know what to expect. We're going to put the cartridge in, turn it on, see if we get sound, see if we get anything. Because again, it wasn't doing anything before. Well, it made a noise at least. Let's see if we can change the contrast a little bit here. See if that'll help it out at all. Well, it does seem to be working better than it was. At least we're getting sound now whenever we hit the go button. But we're not getting anything on the screen, which these things are known for. The screen's going bad in them. And that's what I thought was the issue with it from the beginning. But we definitely don't have clear image. Alright guys, I've messed around with this a little bit just to try and figure out if I could get this screen to work. I took it in another room where the lighting's a little bit better, and it's the same situation. I just can't see anything. I do believe we've got it working now. It's just a situation where the screen itself isn't. As I said a little bit ago, a new screen is $70. If I could get one for 20 bucks, I would do it, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to go venture into another $70 into this thing, because I know I won't get my money back. However, with it not working, I don't know if I'm even going to get my money to begin with. So we're going to think about this a little bit. If we end up fixing it, then we will record that and put that on the end of this video so that you guys can see the working one with the screen fixed. Otherwise, we won't proceed, and we will just go from there.